And one of the first people to suggest a concert, and I was there when he said it, was Father White. And he said it would be great if we could get a concert together. And I think it was mentioned maybe in the run up to Christmas. And we run out a little bit of time, and it just didn't suit. It was busy around Christmas and everything else. So the date was put on it that tonight would be the night. 16th of March, Sunday night, there's going to be a concert in St Mary's Hall by hook or by crook. We're going to get the people here, we're going to get the acts here, we're going to get the talent here. And we discovered all of that. And the man himself, Father White, is going to take to stage. He practices what he preaches, a concert, and I think it's a recitation or a sermon, wait a minute. He's not me. It's a recitation from Father White.
Anyway, I saw the other side of the curtains. I saw the back of them, and they're lined. It wasn't doing justice, but anyway, this is a recitation that I've tried a whole lot of times before, and sometimes I forget a line and it throws me, but I'll do the best I can. It goes like this, and they didn't have lights like that where this happened. Anyway, a bunch of the boys were whooping it up in the Mailmute Saloon. The kid that handles the music box was hitting a ragtime tune. Back at the bar in the solo game sat dangerous Dan McGrew, and watching his look was his light and love, the lady that's known as Lou. When out of the night it was 20 below and into the dim and the glare, there stumbled a miner fresh from the creeks, down dirty and loaded for bear. He looked like a man with a foot in the grave and scarcely the strength of a louse, yet he tilted a poke of dust on the bar and called for drinks for the house. There was none could place the stranger's face, though we searched ourselves for a clue. Yet we drank his health, and the last to drink was dangerous Dan McGrew. There are men that somehow just grip your eyes and hold them hard like a spell, and such was he, and he looked to me like a man who had lived in hell, with the face most hair and the dreary stare of a dog whose day is done, as he watered the green stuff in his glass and the drops fell one by one. I got to figuring who he was and wondering what he'd do, and I turned my head, and there watching him was the lady that's known as Lou. The ragtime kid was having a drink, there was no one else on the stool, so the stranger stumbled across the room and flopped down there like a fool. In a buckskin shirt that was glazed with dirt, he sat and I saw him sway. Then he clutched the keys with his talon hands, but my God, but that man could play. Were you ever out in the great alone when the moon was awful clear, and the icy mountains hemmed you in with the silence you most could hear, with only the sound of a timber wolf, and you camped there in the cold, a half-dead thing in a stark-dead world, clean mad for that mug called gold. While high overhead, green, yellow and red, the north lights swept in bars, then you of a hunch what the music meant, hunger and night and the stars, and hunger not of the belly kind that's banished with bacon and beans, but the gnawing hunger of lonely men for a home and all that it means, for a fireside far from the cares that are, four walls and a roof above, but oh so crammed full of cosy joy, and crowned with a woman's love. A woman dearer than all the world, and true as heaven is true. God, how ghastly she looks through her rouge, the lady that's known as Lou. The music almost died away, then it burst like a pent-up flood, and it seemed to say, repay, repay, and my eyes were blind with blood. The thought came back of an ancient wrong, and it stung like a frozen lash, and the lust awoke to kill, to kill. Then the music stopped with a crash, and the stranger turned, and his eyes they burned in a most peculiar way, In a buckskin shirt that was glazed with dirt, he sat and I saw him sway. Then his lips went in a kind of grin, and he spoke and his voice was calm. And boys, says he, you don't know me, and none of you care a damn. But I want to state, and my words are straight, and I'll bet my poke they're true, that one of you is a hound of hell, and that one is Dan McGrew. Then I turned my head and the lights went out, and two guns blazed in the dark, and a woman screamed and the lights went up, and two men lay stiff and stark. Pitched on his head and pumped full of lead was dangerous Dan McGrew, while the man from the crease lay clutched to the breast of the lady that's known as Lou. These are the simple facts of the case, and I guess I ought to know I'm not so wise as those lawyer guys, but strictly between us two, the woman that kissed him and pinched his poke was the lady that's known as Lou.